one and all.
Who's the one in that situation, in that scenario?
The one is one Mr. Keanu Reeves, frequent listener.
Okay.
One and all. I like to segment the people I'm speaking to into very specific groups, and those groups are 100% of the time Keanu Reeves and the rest of you idiots.
Well, Keanu Reeves is immortal, so that makes sense.
Yes, he is an immortal vampire. Hello, everyone. This is Comics Covered for the week of August 13th, 2018, episode 38.
We're really getting up there, aren't we?
Yeah. We're like 12 episodes away from 50. We're 62 episodes away from 100. We're, let's see, 162 away from 200.
Okay, I think we're done. Yeah, you could go on, but you're not.
Here in Comics Covered, when we're not talking about how Keanu Reeves is immortal and doing strangely basic math that we struggle to do, we talk about comic books and the world around them.
Speaking of Keanu Reeves, sorry, have you ever seen him training for John Wick? Like, he trained with guns, like real guns, and it was awesome. Like, there was these behind the scenes thing, and like he like did all this work with guns and shit that looks so cool.
Yeah, killed 12 men during the actual filming of those movies.
Okay.
Those movies are awesome. We talk about comic books, the comics industry, the movies that are based on them, the TV that's based on them, even some games. Also, you guessed it, based on them. Also, whatever else comes up that we feel like getting on a weird tangent about. We'll also talk spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to stop warning about the swears, because I don't think that we have a large children audience.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I really don't even know why you did that in the first place.
I've heard other podcasts warn about the swears, and I think it's just an attempt to, like, soften the blow if some child happens to listen to it.
Whoa, Doug, I don't want to do that with you. That's gross.
I don't know what that means. I'm going to move on. We'll warn you about the spoilers.
And when Doug starts blowing me.
Okay, first off, was never directed at you. I'm Doug.
What is it? I'm doing my eyebrows right now. I'm putting them up and down like Groucho Marx.
Like Groucho Marx,
yeah.
but like a real Groucho Marx, not like a fake plastic set of glasses with his nose. And isn't that creepy a little bit when you think about it? How this is a weird practice that everyone is comfortable with.
Think about it this way:
the glasses with a fake nose that is supposed to be this man's nose and his eyebrows, and
you got to remember that man was famous like in the 40s, like 30s, 40s, 50s. We needed to get really, really creative with our toys and merchandise because there wasn't as much out there.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense when you really think. Think about an Etch-a-Sketch. Like, who the fuck thought of an Etch-a-Sketch?
A very bored person.
Okay. Did you introduce yourself yet? I don't know if you did.
I'm in the middle of it. Let me go on this tangent first, though.
Okay.
Back in the day, the children needed to make their own Groucho Marx masks. They would cobble together some twigs and some wire, and they'd clip off bits of their own hair and attach them to them. I have no basis in this. I'm Doug. I'm a resident comics veteran. I finally said it.
Good job.
Finally got to say it in the show. Let me go back. I'm your comic book Sherpa. Because I'm pivoting. Hard pivot. And for example, I know something that Jack might not know, and that is the context of the image he's about to see.
Yes.
I don't know if the phrasing that we have set up in our intro really makes sense anymore.
No, it makes sense for me, because I say you know something I don't know, but it doesn't make sense for you. We need to think of something catchy for you.
Well, it doesn't really make sense for when it's an image, is what I'm saying. Anyways.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I guess so. I'm Jack, and I own Image Comics. No, I am a very new person to comics. Getting up there, really consolidating my books in general, because this week was just all good, and I was so happy about that.
Oh, it was a very good week.
Like, literally, there was not one stinker, and I can't believe it, honestly. Like, they were all like, I cannot put these down. at all. Like every single one. It's just amazing. I just turned my head from the microphone. Sorry. It was awesome. So I'm gonna go click ahead this panel or this character image. You have another. Now, is it on the one that says character image or the one that says don't click?
Well, I think logic would dictate that you click on the one that doesn't say don't click. So
am I going to be able to click on the other one like at some point?
Your computer will not click if you try to click on it. No, just it. If you look at the first one, I think you'll get what the second one is. But we'll look at it later. But
okay.
Look at this first one, please.
I'm looking at the first one. Oh, wait a minute. I think you've told me who this is.
I might have mentioned him before, but I don't think we've done him on the show, have we?
We have definitely not done him on the show. But okay. I vaguely remember you telling me this, like in the when I was reading comics first off.
Oh, dang! I thought this was Uncharted. Here,
this is just
okay.
Well, no,
okay,
wait. But okay, okay. Just so everyone knows, I'm looking at a couple pictures of a man popping off his arm and then slamming it on a table.
Mm-hmm. There's a little group of people at a table, and they seem very shocked and appalled that he is just slamming his entire arm.
Also, it says crack.
On the table.
Did he just break his own arm?
He might have. Also, I very much like the sound effect in the first panel where he pulls his arm off. It goes plorp.
That's so funny. What does plorp mean? What is that? Like,
it's a sound.
Well, is that like? You think that's it?
Yeah.
Does that come through?
I think it's like a squishier plop sound, like a squishier pop sound. You know, like there's a little bit of liquid to it. You know, plorp.
Okay.
You know, but yuck. Can you describe what this man is wearing for the folks, please? Because it's almost indescribable.
No, it's a unitard, skin tight unitard with a helmet or hat that makes him look like a cone head, kind of, with a gem in the center.
It's a pink unitard,
and it is pink.
Okay.
God, this is just. Oh, and his legs have some sort of scaly shit on them.
I don't know what that is. I don't think that has anything to do with anything.
Okay.
But they do look like that, and it is confusing.
It's kind of like Metamorpho in a way.
It does look like Metamorpho, but I don't think he has rock legs.
No, he has like a rock like arm actually. Okay.
Sort of.
Okay,
he looks like he has like chicken pox on his arms, but they look like gloves. But then he has fingernails.
Oh, on the gloves. That is weird.
Are they not gloves?
Well, okay. I guess my first question is, do both arms come off?
I think that's a safe assumption, is that he can pull both those arms off.
So maybe his arms are just fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're just weird mutant arms. He can...
Someone just gave me a clue. This is a Marvel character. He's an X-Man.
No. I was not speaking specifically of the mutants, but he does have...
damn it.
Like a weird, I don't know, inhuman arm. No.
I thought it caught you.
Either.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to guess publisher. I'll guess DC then.
It is DC.
Okay. DC's fucking crazy. Silver Age, yes?
Yes, this is some Silver Age shit right here. The characters in the foreground on this second panel are the Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, so it's in the future. 30th century, correct?
I believe so. 30-something. Yes. Something like that.
Okay.
And the context here, can you guess what the context is here? That he is displaying this to them, slamming his arm down in front of them.
Is he, like, auditioning for the Legion of Superheroes?
That is exactly what's happening.
Yeah!
Yes, this is, in fact, I believe, the first open audition that the Legion of Superheroes held to find new members.
Wow.
And he was, in fact, the first character rejected.
Aw, that's so sad.
Yeah.
He can do stuff with that. He can, like, beat people up with his arms.
Sure, yeah, that seems useful, right? Like you couldn't just grab a blunt object.
No, you need your arm.
No, you need to remove one of your arms. So you said I might have explained this character to you at some point in the past. Do you remember his name?
I have no idea. Is it like is his name Amputee?
That would be probably a better name. I want to tell you.
Just tell me.
It's very literal. His name is, in fact, Arm Fall Off Boy.
Yes, you've definitely told me about the Arm Fall Off Boy, because I remember asking the question, if it's Arm Fall Off Boy, his arms should fall off. They shouldn't be able to control it. They should just fall off.
Well, maybe they do sometimes. If you look at the second image, I just love everything about the dialogue in this scene.
You blacked out the dialogue, it looks like.
Yes, I whited out the dialogue. Click the don't click tab.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is like a directed board game here.
Yeah.
You can now draw the card. You know what I mean?
If you'll open your packet, I've given you a handout. So he says, my power will astound you.
Wow.
Observe as I detach my limb, plorp, and transform it into a deadly weapon. Oh. Die, villain! Hiya! And then he slams his arm down on the table, and it does seem like he maybe does break his arm bone.
Oh my god. I want to read this exact issue. I would love to read this. Dear God.
Where does he... I assume he debuts in that issue. So what issue is that? That is... He appears in Secret Origins number 46. Is that issue? Sure. We'll go with that. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, if this is his first appearance, 1989, so not quite Silver Age.
Okay, I was going between
modern.
those, because I was thinking like the coloring kind of looks like 80s in a way, too.
The Legion of Superheroes are a very, like, Silver Age-y team, even, like, in feel, even in the later years. So maybe that's what threw us, and I'm guessing this is a story that was, like, set back in their early days.
Yeah. But 80s makes sense too with what they were doing in those days.
Yeah.
God, this guy should be a Doom Patrol character.
Oh, they should bring him back as a Doom Patrol character. That would be amazing. But like somehow really explore and expand the idea of like having arms that fall off and stuff. I don't know what that means, but like... I'm
just imagining like a whole like... You know how Saladin Ahmed wanted to do that whole Black Bolt thing for Crusher Creel? I'm just imagining like the same thing, but with this fucker, like this guy.
Yes. I'm trying to imagine what if you were a writer, you wanted to reinvent Arm Fall Off Boy. Like, how would you like make that a more useful power? Because it's not useful. But like, it is less efficient than grabbing a random blunt object in the room around you.
Well, because you become disabled after
you have to remove an arm to do it.
I think a way to do it.
What if every time he pulls off an arm, he grows one back instantly, so he could just like throw them over and over and over
on
again?
The same wavelength, Doug. I totally feel it. Like Hela did that basically with swords in Thor Ragnarok.
Only it's his own arms.
It's his arms.
And they make that plorp sound effect every time.
And I think if you reinvent him, he does... It's not he pulls it off with his other arm. He has to actually have it fall off, but he can like think it to fall it off. Like, you know what I mean? Like he just like... and then it... Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, let's write this. We'll write this together, Doug.
Yes, this is going to be our magnum opus.
Yes.
We are going to write this comic book. Jack, how was your week?
Oh, that's great. I love it. Arm Fall Off Boy. Okay, my week was good. So recently, Infinity War came out on digital and like DVD and shit. So a lot of clips, like good quality clips, have made it to YouTube and shit. So I've been watching a lot of those, and I realized that it is absurd that Doctor Strange saw 14 million possibilities and they won in one of them. What is his definition of winning, and what could have possibly happened in the other incredible amount of futures that he saw? I've been pondering this, seriously.
I'm not entirely sure I understand the premise of your question.
How?
So can you just elaborate a little bit more?
14 million is such a big number.
Okay, yes.
How could they only win in one? That's absurd. And what is his definition of winning if they only, quote unquote, win in one? Because
here's my answer to you. It's drama.
I get that, but I'm talking like, it's just so ridiculous. Like 14 million.
Because do you know how fucking badass it sounds when you ask Doctor Strange how many timelines he looked at, and he says a ridiculous amount of timelines, and then he's like, how many did we win in? And he says only one. Imagine if that scene was, Doctor Strange, how many timelines did you look at? And he says, I looked at 7 of them. How many did we win? Like 4.
I get that, but like, I didn't laugh at it at the time, but it seems really funny now, like that he says 14,605,000. Like, that sounds like a funny thing to say. I don't know. I was thinking about that a lot. But that movie is so great. I was really, because I watch a lot of things while I'm working a lot of times just in the background, and I was really debating on whether I should rent it on YouTube for like $5 and just watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be fun.
It's so good.
It is. I'm just a big fan.
It did kind of bug me at the time because it seems improbable.
Well, it's
that like, yes, it is. They are up against almost impossible odds, but it feels like it should be like, it feels like almost against like kind of the Russo brothers kind of style. Like it should be like something almost nothing, but like he should say like 4 or something like that.
Or he said like 14,605,000, I believe, if he said 5. Like matter of factly, like, yeah, 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like, I don't know. But I feel like that's the most comic booky things in the movies in general. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's totally something I would totally be okay with in a comic book and not even think twice about it, probably. But like in a movie, it just seems really, really silly and funny. But I mean, I'm not going to give it too much gripe, but because it's fun and it's good. But yeah, that's fun.
Anyways,
so yeah, that was my whole week. That's all I did.
That was your whole week.
Watched
you
that
thought
on
about
repeat.
Mm-hmm, you thought about that Doctor Strange scene and you just fumed.
Yes.
Just furious about it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, how was your week? Tell me about it.
Yep. I finally caught up on the. Well, I didn't catch up. I've seen all these movies. I was rewatching with my girlfriend all the Mission Impossible movies last time.
She hasn't seen any of them, right? We talked about this.
No, she hadn't watched any of them. So we watched. I was going to say we watched all 5 of the previous ones, but we watched 4 of them, and then a recap of 2. Someone was mistaken when they told me something from 2 came up. I think they were thinking of 3.
Well, what came up from 3? Spoilers for Mission Impossible 6.
Spoilers. His wife is like a much bigger
okay. Well, I get that. But she's been in the other 2 as well.
It's kind
Vaguely.
of, sort of. It's easy to forget if you like hadn't seen them recently that she was even in them.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I was looking for the thing from 2, and honestly, I did find something from 2. Do you know what it is?
Oh, was there?
Yeah. Do you remember how 2 opens?
No. No, because I didn't just watch it.
He's rock climbing without a harness or anything, like bouldering on this huge surface. So, again, this is spoilers, by the way, for everybody, but okay, I just won't even say it. Don't worry, no spoilers. But you know what I'm talking about? What happens?
Yes.
Because I was like, oh, that's the thing.
Yeah. So obviously we both saw the new Mission Impossible, Fallout. Horribly generic name. They should have come up with a better one.
I mean, yeah.
It's whatever.
I mean, that is specifically having to do with what it was, about, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was
literally like the entire plan.
Yeah. Anyways, so like this was directed by the same director as the last one, Christopher McQuarrie. And I was like, I liked the last one, but it's a pretty big mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like, there's some really great stuff in it, some great sequences, but also some real cheesy stuff. I'm not sure if the screenwriter was different in this one, but the dialogue felt infinitely better. But yeah, it was really, really good. Like, probably the most intense one since 3. Like, in terms of, like, just tension, I feel like.
I can feel that. Yeah, no, I can see that. Because the last 2 have been more, like, a balance of fun and, like, really tense situations. This one definitely had a lot. Like, it was fun still, don't get me wrong, but, like, definitely had a real balance of, like, I don't know what I'm talking about. It had a lot of tense moments.
I thought it was very telling that, like, I just watched all these movies pretty much in a row. Well, again, asterisk. But of all these movies, this one was the one that my girlfriend had to, like, cover her eyes the most during, which I thought was really interesting. And it was, like, not like, because she's not really, like, she's not that squeamish when it comes to, like, she didn't, like, 3 is, I still think, like, the most, like locked room tense, like Philip Seymour Hoffman is a terrifying character in that movie. But, like, this movie, I feel like the actual action scenes feel, like, convincingly dangerous in a way that, like, it is more, like, bigger and more convincing and more threatening than in the other movies, like any of them.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I was thinking during this movie, like, as well as all the other ones, I'll bet an actor, like, I mean, as an act, like, if I was an actor in one of those movies, I'd be like, is someone going to be in a mask of me so I can act like them being me? That'd be so awesome, right?
Yeah, it's got to be so fun. Yeah.
Like, Phil Seymour Hoffman got to do that in 3, I believe.
Yep.
Like, I mean, so many people get to do that in these movies, but it just seems like such a fun thing to do. Like, I get to act like someone else being me. Like, it's great. Great shit.
So ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But overall, very, like, pretty stripped down compared to the last 2. Like, just really straightforward. Like, here's just a really fucking good car chase.
Yeah.
Or a really, like, vehicular chase. And it's going to go on for a long time, and it's going to be good as hell. Like, it's so much less, like, specific, high concept-y action set pieces in this. And it's just like, here's just, like, a really good action staple, and we're just going to do it really well.
Yeah.
And, like, I found that really refreshing, kind of, to just see that, like, yeah, this shit still works. Like, you don't need to radically reinvent this stuff. Obviously, it's still really cool when someone comes up with a really cool way to, like, come up with a new way to do a big vehicular chase or whatever. But it is cool to see that stuff doesn't get old, you know, if you do them well.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's, completely agree, for sure. There's just something about this one that I like. I really don't even know what it is, but it was just complex enough to where, like, and I'm talking about the plot specifically, like, it was just complex enough to where I felt like this is great, like, espionage, like, really convoluted plot, but it's not so convoluted to where you're just like, okay, this guy, I guess, and his motivations are this. Like, you really knew, they made it very, very clear, like, everybody's motivations and how it changed throughout the time, and who had the control and who didn't have the control. Like, it was really, like, this plot, I'm assuming, was on a storyboard somewhere, and they had this huge, like, chart that they had, okay, this and this and this, and they put it together masterfully.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's a really fun Mission Impossible movie. If you like those movies, I think after the last one, like, people like the last one in general. I like the last one, but I think this is a big step up.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. And it follows up directly from a lot of stuff in 5. Yeah. You would probably be somewhat lost skipping it.
I don't remember a lot of it. I don't think so. I think they start up pretty...
Oh, you could get the gist. You could totally get the gist. Like, I don't think you'd be entirely lost. Yeah. But, like, they don't set up some of the characters in this.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. Maybe you could. I don't know.
But hey, recommend it all you want. But if anyone, like, doesn't like these movies or doesn't like Tom Cruise for any reason, a perfectly good spy movie is also out. That's called The Spy Who Dumped Me. Definitely the same exact kind of movie. Just go ahead. Actually, on that note, I actually heard that it had Spy Who Dumped Me has a lot of surprisingly good action sequences.
That's fun. Is that the
Kate McKinnon, Mila Kunis, and shit?
Mila Kunis, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
God, do you remember the movie Black Swan? I'm sorry.
I do remember the movie Black Swan.
That was crazy.
It was crazy. We got to get out of this intro.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Doug's going to Seattle, so we're recording this on Thursday.
We're recording a little bit early.
Vision.
All right, yeah, and we're going to move on into our current comics. This week, we had a somewhat lighter week, despite having only one day to read all my books, somehow, even though I've been behind for weeks and weeks and weeks, because I took a couple trips, I managed to read all of them in a night, which I found very surprising and was very nice to have just a night where I just read a bunch of comics. I haven't done that in a while. I
know why. It's because none of them feel like a job to, go through, and it just goes by so much faster, I feel like.
90% true, other than Iron Man, which I think you didn't read.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Anyways, so Jack, why don't you tell the folks what we both read?
Okay. Also, Doug, I just want to say, I thought the news section that we just did was the best one that we've ever done.
Oh, yeah, we're skipping news this week because I have a flight really early in the morning, and we're trying to make it short.
Oh, is that why? Oh, good for you.
Yes, I have a 6:15 flight for anyone who wants to just invade my privacy. And also, if you manage to come and bother me at the airport on Friday morning when this episode releases on Sunday, kudos.
Oh. Wow. We could be hacked. Sorry. I have more energy now because we usually record in the morning, so I think that's why it's more tangent-y. Sorry. Mm-hmm. We're going to get on here, though, because I would rather talk about these books anyways. So we had a decent amount of books. We both had books. Then they included Gideon Falls, number 6, Ice Cream Man, number 6. Oh, yeah, it is.
Correct? Oh, they're both
Yeah,
6.
it is correct. Justice League, number 6. How many 6s? Oh, actually, that's devilish. We had 3 6s.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize. Oh, there's a pentagram. Okay.
Okay. Pearl, number 1. Magic Order, number 3. And then I'm going to, since Doug didn't write it down, I'm going to say my solo books this week, which were Skyward, number 5, and Baby Teeth, number 12, which I'm finally caught up with.
Wow. Nice. So... spoiler warning, we're going to talk specifics about these books.
What'd you read, Doug?
Oh, I also read Batman number 53 and The Wildstorm number 16.
And Iron
Man. Cool. So, we, every week, pick our favorite covers in these books to start off. Jack, what was your favorite cover in a comic?
My favorite cover is Skyward, number 5. I think I really just like negative space, and I like objects in that negative space. Because I just think, comic covers more often than not are busy. And I know why. It's so that people go in really close to see all the little stuff in there. But it is, it does the opposite thing for me, because, if they're all busy, then none of them are. Yes. There's your Incredibles reference. It just, my eye goes towards these ones so much more, so much to the fact that my two that I was going between are Skyward and Baby Teeth, which is not, it's also just a single person in a different setting. So I don't know. I just really like those kinds of things. And this one I love because we got 2 silhouettes. They're both the main character and her dad. I don't know if I want to go into that much of the context of what this is representing, but I really like the negative space used in this. I like that, I don't know, the colors are really just inviting to me. I don't know why. The blend of colors here just makes me really like it. And I like this way the city is drawn underneath, just barely, as if it's fading into the distance. I like the air bubbles that are going between them. I think that's so cool how they have them so small and stuff. The lens flare being drawn in. I don't know if part of it's painted or not. I feel like the part that's blue, white to blue, is painted almost.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some paint work. Some watercolor. Yeah, watercolor, whether it's digital or physical. But there's definitely like a painted effect going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in any case, I just love this book too, and the art is fantastic. And this issue was the end of this like first part of it. It says end of book 1 at the end or something like that. And Doug, you have to get this in trade when it comes out. So
yeah, I'll have to check it out at some point. You've been raving about it.
This issue specifically, like, really stepped it up like a huge notch.
Okay. Can you tell me? So what we've got here, we've got this main character. I think it's the protagonist of this book. She's swimming down. She's got big flippers on. Are they still in the sky? Is it just like water imagery, or are they actually underwater?
They are actually underwater.
Okay. So we've got like an underwater city going on here?
No.
Oh, did the water fly up into the sky?
They are underwater in the sky.
Did the water fly up because there's no gravity?
It's raining.
Oh. Whoa.
Isn't that fucking cool?
That's silly, and I like it.
It's fucking cool. It's just so cool. The last 2 issues have been like in this, like, he doesn't know what a storm is or whatever. Like, this is what storms are. It's so fucking great.
That's great. This cover is very striking, and I totally see why like covers with a lot of negative space would stick out to you. They do it to me as well.
Like, look at the difference between Justice League's cover and and that one. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like all the Justice League covers, granted, but it's just they're always so much.
Like, superhero comic covers specifically just tend to be like either very literal or like just like very straightforward in terms of like, here's all the characters in the book, and they're all looking cool and striking a pose, and it's just like, very, very busy, as much stuff thrown in them as possible. And like, it is a nice kind of, like, this cover is very relaxing looking.
Right?
That's very different. Yeah. The like the white to blue gradient, I feel like is not a super common one you see on a cover. Like, it's just very, very soothing looking.
It reminds me of the intros to James Bond.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The opening credits.
Bond-esque.
Is
there's definitely some
that there's one underwater. I think it's Thunderball.
You mean the intro?
Yeah,
is underwater, or what do you mean?
The
that would make
credits
sense.
of Thunderball, I think, are underwater.
I believe so. That makes sense. I can picture that. I think that's the thing. Anyways,
but yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
What about you, Doug? What's your favorite
very good cover
of the week?
My favorite cover this week is from the new series from Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaydos. Couldn't remember his first name.
Two Gay Michaels.
Two of them. Called Pearl. This is the creative team that created Jessica Jones. They did the series Alias at Marvel a long time ago. And they are coming back together to do this new book for Brian Michael Bendis' Jinx World imprint at DC. And this cover it's just, I was having trouble kind of placing exactly what I like about this cover. And it's like, it's not quite negative space, but it's very simple in its focus, I think, and yet there's a lot of detail in it in ways that aren't typical for a comic book cover. Like, it's not
the
like
faded tattoo kind of like in the background of the other one that's clearer.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff like that. Like, I didn't even notice that, like, until now. Yeah, so we've got, I believe this is supposed to be the main character, whose name is Pearl? Is her name Pearl?
Did we ever actually get her name?
No, her name is not Pearl. That's the tattoo shop, I think. What is her name? Anyways, her name is something. I'll try to find it. Anyways, so it's the main character, and we're seeing her kind of like just above, like it's like chest up to like top of her upper lip. And so we're seeing she has this kind of like shoulder region tattoo that's a bunch of flowers, but all the flowers have gun barrels coming off of them. And then she has what I believe is Chinese on her.
Name's
It
Pearl.
is Chinese. I know her. Yes, it apparently does say Pearl, or what the Chinese.
No. Sorry, her name is Pearl.
Her name is Pearl. Okay, and it does.
Yeah.
It says Pearl on her neck in Chinese.
Oh.
I found out.
Good for you. Cool. That's
speaks a little bit of Chinese. It directly translates to true bead, which I thought was funny. But that's apparently a pearl. Which
is it
is
bad that when I hear bead, like automatically I think of anal beads?
I mean, a little, but I don't know.
You're in the same boat.
It occurs. Okay. It occurs to one. Yeah. So and then she's got this very striking white hair, and on the cover they present it as just like this flat white. But there's this like almost like barcode looking pattern going over it.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting seeing a cover in which this is a region of people that you don't really see like illustrated in great detail. It's a lot of neck and upper chest, and then like her chin. Mm-hmm. You know, like we're not getting any eyes or nose or the top of a person's face like you would see, or
it's like
the rest
least
of her
defining
body.
features of a human body.
Oh, for sure. Like this is just like if you took out like the mouth, like I don't even know that I would necessarily identify this as a person's like neck and chest and chin,
mm-hmm.
you know?
And honestly, I feel like the mouth is there only for clarity, because a mouth would be a defining characteristic, but I feel like it's purposely even cut off at the top to show that that's not important. Nope.
Yeah, it's definitely not the focus here. The focus is on the tattoos, and both on the chest and the neck. And I really like the like graphic design around this book, the typography specifically. Mm-hmm. I mean, and just these colors on this book are or on this cover specifically. The colors in the book are fantastic as well. But it's this like almost cotton candy aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's like tealy kind of sky blue and white and pink, and we get this cool gradient from those three in looking at like the actual figure in the foreground here, from the blue to the white to the pink, and that's really cool and like interesting looking.
I feel like it's not a color scheme you usually see in anything.
No, definitely. Like all I can really associate it with is cotton candy, and yet it really works here. Yeah, I and it's just got this cool sketchiness to it that is really makes kind of the weirdness of the framing here work. I really like this cover. What did you think of this as a first issue?
I really liked it. I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, honestly, my favorite part of this issue and my favorite like future part of what's going to happen is he's going to be doing these Batman things every month.
I don't think he is. This is actually so they printed a sort of backup story. Or does he say that in this? He says thing here?
This is Citizen. Maybe he's not doing it about Batman, but he says see you. Maybe he's not. Never mind. It says see you next month. I guess that's just for the Pearl. But I really like this. I thought it was fucking great.
But you, okay, so they reprinted what is basically the only other thing Bendis had ever written for DC before he came to work at DC, which was years and years and years ago, which he did with Michael Gaydos, his Jessica Jones collaborator, and his collaborator in this book. And it is Citizen Wayne, and it's Citizen Kane, but it's Batman.
It's great. it's great.
Bruce Wayne.
The Joker shit was fantastic. But about the actual issue, I think it's a really cool world that they're building. I think it's a section of a world that doesn't get a lot of time in comics, especially big time ones. The art is beautiful, and I really love artistic sequences that break from the form of the issue. You know what I mean? Like that, that like the issue establishes a certain form, and then I love pages that you turn to and it breaks it. Like this, when the people are invading and like on the motorcycles and shit and like shooting up for the first time, like I really enjoy this, and I think a lot of the detail that's put into like when this dude takes off his jacket and shows all the like tattoos and shit. Like I'm not that into tattoos, but this shit looks cool as like it looks really fucking cool when it's on here.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that did confuse me, and sorry to get derailed with what is possibly a complaint this early in the book, I did like. But specifically since you brought that up, that tattoo, this guy points it out as like, this is one of mine. I design, it's an original design. I designed my needles. And maybe this is a plot point that'll come up later, but I thought it was very funny that they specifically point out this is an original design of mine. And then later, this boss here, her boss, takes off his jacket, so, in his tattoo parlor, and he has the exact same tattoo on his back.
Wait.
It's the exact same.
Where does he say this is an original design?
When he's taking off his jacket, the guy that she's flirting with, he says, "Original designs. I designed my needles." And he's pointing to the guy's back tattoo. Or are you? I'm talking about early.
Yeah, I see that.
They're okay. Never mind. I thought you were talking about that one, but it's the same tattoo as the one you were talking about. Which is very confusing.
Huh. That is true. I feel like that it must be a plot point, right?
Maybe that is I feel like it has to be a plot point. If it's not, then that was a bad decision to reuse that. But,
or reuse a dragon because I was also confused why he was actually taking off his thing. I didn't remember about that. I think that is very pointed that they do show that that must be. They do a close-up of it. It has to be. It has to be. It really has to be. They zoom in. Okay, well, that makes me more interested then.
Yeah, so this guy's mixed up in some shit somehow, and he's not being upfront about it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
wow.
Yeah, so this book is it's what this is the I don't know what the Chinese organized crime is. What
Yakuza? You mean?
Yeah, they do say Yakuza in this.
It's Japanese.
So what? Okay, well then it's Japanese then. She has Chinese on her tattoo on the cover. Okay. Anyways, so it is the Yakuza though.
I thought they said Yakuza. That's what they said in the solicit as well.
Okay. All right. Well then it's the Yakuza then, not Chinese. But
what if Leah actually learned Japanese and she just doesn't? She's just racist and she doesn't know the difference.
I don't know. They have some. I think they have. Oh God, I'm gonna offend someone. But
yeah, you are. I'm a quarter Japanese. I'm a quarter offended already.
Okay, well maybe you can confirm this then. They have some shared characters, don't they?
I mean, there might be similarities just based off of evolution of their language.
Sure,
but I don't think.
Anyways,
I mean, there are thousands upon thousands of characters. There probably is something in there. Chances are there isn't quite 14 million. But chances are there is a shared,
There's one.
There's at least one.
Anyways, whatever. I was misled. But anyway, they do say Yakuza in this. So
we should call this episode Chinese, Japanese, same thing.
Same thing.
Boy, just so everyone knows, we're totally kidding. We're totally joking. We do not think they're the same thing. Okay.
No, I was just misled by her tattoo. Anyways. So yeah, this is just seemingly a crime book, big tattoo angle, which is different. You don't see that much in comics. And the art is stellar. Like, I'm not sure who is this.
It's Gatos.
Does he do his own coloring? It looks like he does. There's no colorist credited for this, so
must be. What does design mean?
That means like that page and like stuff like the probably like the scene titles and stuff.
Oh, but there's a tattoo designer. So the tattoo designer might do all the tattoos, but they put it in like by printing it onto the thing, maybe?
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
That makes sense.
I also think it's interesting. I always find it interesting when some artists use models, or sometimes they photo reference, and obviously Michael Gaydos is here. One, you can kind of tell when you look at it. I'm not knocking it. Some people do it well, and some people do it poorly.
Yeah.
It's especially egregious when it's done poorly. But they have the model,
yeah,
who plays Pearl.
Am I allowed to make fun of this name?
Her name is Exotic Alec.
Her name's Exotic Alec. What?
I'm wondering if that's a birth name or not. Since this is like a model.
I'm not Prime World Alec. I'm Exotic Alec.
Yep. This is Rare Alec.
It's too good. Too good.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but I don't know that I've seen a comic book where they credited the model for the main character in the like opening credits along with the creative team.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool. I mean, if they're using her likeness directly, I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice. Yeah.
It's almost, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's almost like if you were to see that person, you'd be like, oh my God, it's Pearl from...
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. It's not that's really cool.
Like seeing an actor from a movie. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, like it's a good kind of photo referencey. Like you can tell, like this is using photos, but like there's enough put into the line work and stuff, and
yes.
like clearly he's putting his own spin on it and stuff. I really like the art in this.
Definitely.
But yeah, I very much enjoyed this first issue.
Yeah, I'm really excited to continue for sure. I think
not to get off on a huge tangent about my cover of the week, but
oh yeah, I forgot about that. We should move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, Doug, what's the book that you gotta talk about?
So the book that I most gotta talk about is Gideon Falls #6. So
this is a doozy.
This one was a doozy, and for a few specific reasons. So this issue, this is a horror book by Jeff Lemire, art by Andrea Sorrentino, and this issue we have Father Ted. Ted? Is that his name?
Yeah, Father Ted, I think.
Father Ted or Father Fred? Anyways, Father Ted.
Fred. It's totally Fred.
Okay, Father Fred. Alliteration, I'll remember that now. If Father Fred goes into the Black Barn, which is this evil demonic barn that they've been searching for or avoiding or something, it's unclear at this point. And he goes in there and basically has a weird like vision trip thing as he like traverses the Black Barn, which seems to be some sort of weird other crazy hell dimension.
Yeah.
You know, it's very trippy. It's crazy. We get some of the most, you know, all those cool pages from Andrea Sorrentino in pretty much every issue. There's always like one or two where you're like, holy shit, Andrea Sorrentino just kind of like let loose on this page.
She let loose on every page.
Yeah, half this issue is just one after another of just some of the most bonkers layouts I've seen in a comic book. And there's a page where he's like seeing this giant machine, and then the next page is like a plane that he's jumping out of through a door.
Yeah.
And there's other pages from the book. There's a page with like what has to be like 50 really short, super wide panels.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually honestly kind of a little bit hard to follow.
Yeah, because they're out of order too.
They're like out of order and kind of cyclical and sometimes reversed, and but you get the gist of what happens. They give you all the major events.
What's 18 times 3?
I don't know. We get like
54.
Like just some really, really cool sequential storytelling in this issue. That like is probably the highlight so far of Andrea Sorrentino's art.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was specifically interesting because for some reason, every page that I looked at in this book, I went like, holy shit, that's cool. And like, I totally get what they're going for. And I feel the context and the emotion for it. And I thought it was interesting because I was specifically not harping on, but I didn't personally connect all that much with the storytelling stuff in Eternity Girl. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this on the show because it felt a little too trippy for me in a way that like turned me off a little bit.
I think trippy is a simplistic term to use. I think Eternity Girl is super like high concept and more so like just they say weird shit all the time. This, I think she does such a good job. Like, we know where we are right now. We're in the Black Barn, so we're prepared for weird shit to happen, I think. Yeah. And I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I think it's the context that this book provides around this sequence that really makes this work, because, again, I'm not saying that... I feel like I have to always...
You like, don't. Just go.
Hedge my bet. Okay. What didn't work for me as much about Eternity Girl is just that, like, the whole thing was basically...
Yes.
to me. And, like, a little bit less. Like, there was more of the, like, sequential storytelling stuff in it. There was more... If we were just looking at the sequence and looking at the entirety of that book, there was more, like, actual plot to hang on to in that book than there was in this sequence. But... there's so much more literal storytelling around this sequence that this sequence is actually a break from that. This sequence is the exception to the rule, and while there are bits of stuff like this in every issue, this being an extended one in this felt like a cool expansion on that, as opposed to me feeling the entire series like I'm a little bit lost and I don't entirely understand exactly what's happening.
But that said, but the stuff where she goes crazy with panel structure normally in this book, I feel like a lot of times it's designed specifically for your eyes to tell the stories. Like, I don't know. I think is different, honestly, than, for example, do you remember when in like issue 3 or 2, when he was like coming back from his apartment and he saw it unlocked and we saw the whole room empty and shit? Like, I feel like that was drawn in a way that makes more sense for how we're reading it with our eyes. For sure. This stuff is purposely like it's still telling a story, like a non-sequential story, like you said, but like it's more nonsensical stuff than like that kind of stuff is. So like I think it's a little bit different, but yes, like you said, like there's setup for it. We know where we are exactly, and we know what we're bracing ourselves for, like all this crazy shit. But like even when you have him walking out of the last page on this, like, page where we see when he's walking out of the plane, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And going into the other room, we see where he's walking into the other room. We turn the page and it's that room. Like, there's just something about this that she knows how to structure these things to where it barely makes sense, but it makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, like, you're hanging on by a thread, but you are hanging on.
Just like Father Fred.
Like he doesn't have any idea what's happening in the same way that you have no idea what's happening. Yeah. But the sequential storytelling of it is so clear in the sense of we're following this character and we literally, in that sequence you're talking about, he's, like, the visuals around him don't make sense, but you see him walk directly, like, out of this sequence and literally into basically the sequence in the next page, and he's as surprised to be there as kind of we are to see it. And it's really well done. And also I think it just in general, I think like more horror tinged psychedelic stuff tends to be more my thing, just in general, as like a taste thing. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting to kind of like pick at what exactly was different about them, like not good or bad, but like what maybe was working more for me in this that I didn't necessarily like as much in that other one, or just what the difference was really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we kind of got to it.
Also, how crazy is it that she doesn't remember anything? It's really upsetting to me, honestly, that the sheriff doesn't remember shit.
I mean, she was out the whole time. Like,
I guess so.
Saw a bunch of crazy shit, got shot, and came out. Like, I feel like most people going through this probably would logic that as I had a really fucking weird dream.
Yeah. And
just remember the part where you got shot, you know?
I can see that. Yeah, body went to shock. Yeah, I can feel that. Oh, God. Yeah, so many choices for panel of the week. I'm glad we just talked about it, honestly, because I was going to, go crazy.
Honestly, yeah, I didn't pick any of these for panel of the week. I had a hard time choosing, and they're, I don't know, they just all work so good together. It feels like one long sequence.
This book is the panel of the week.
This whole book. God, yeah, like, they're, like, so many good sequences, and they all just kind of run into one another, and like just I don't know, just as a piece of art, I thought like the art in this book was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if this is. I think they're probably going to back off of this for a bit. Like, I don't think we're going to get like a crazy trippy sequence like this in every issue, but like I'm anticipating more stuff like this in bits and pieces going forward.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because Andrea Sorrentino is just super, super inventive visually.
Definitely. Agreed. Completely.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. My book is different that I got to talk about. And really funny to me because Doug has a question later saying, are we dropping it? And he was asking if I was going to drop Justice League, because that's the book I got to talk about.
Okay. You've seemed, just for context here, you have seemed kind of like unenthused by it the last few issues. Not like, I don't know, not like you were hating it or anything.
That is completely correct. I completely agree. I really loved issue 3. That was like the first time I was like, okay, this book is going to be great. I'm really, really excited. And then 4 and 5 happened. 4 I didn't like at all. 5, I think I wasn't in the right place, like knowledge-wise of the characters or appreciative-wise to appreciate it that much. So I was kind of like, okay, So I haven't told you what I thought about this book yet, right? Even off air.
Okay. No, you haven't.
This issue was awesome. And it redeemed the entire story. And I cannot believe, honestly, how well it turned it around for me. Because I feel like everything that was like washing, like all the weird conflict shit that was just washing over me, that was like reminiscent in my mind to Dark Knight's Metal, just was so much clearer in this issue. And I thought it was done so well. Like, and granted, it's a conclusion of sorts, but it's like, and so that makes sense. But like the way it's laid out here, and some of the pages when you open it up, like this one of these last ones where like they're all in little panels across the 2-page splash. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like one of the last pages. It's where, where they're basically all putting together their plan kind of thing.
Sure. I think I know what you're talking about. Is it the one where Flash and Martian Manhunter are both sort of meditating?
Yeah, and then the other one is saying John Stewart saying like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like this issue gave the best emotional context for all the shit that was going down, and it was so satisfying. Enough of which, like, I don't care that I didn't like the last 2 issues as much. This was so awesome and worth it. Like, it's for everything from like the Joker and him just being in this book, and to weirdo Martian Manhunter picking Superman's brain, which I thought was great.
That was great.
To the sequence of Hawkgirl like getting Joker out of there and driving and trying to help Batman like defeat Bruce or Lex Luthor, to the image of Batman with broken and shattered legs. Just there's so much
arms.
There's just so much here. Like there's so much here that I just loved, and it was laid out in such a great way that I'm really happy. Like this is how I dreamed the big stuff from Scott Snyder would be. Would be. Like, seriously, like there's so much emotional context for what they're doing, and I'm really glad it got to this point, because it makes me really, really happy about where his series is going to go.
Yeah, I I would agree. Like this book, this issue, I think it definitely felt like a climax and a payoff for a lot of the stuff they've been building towards. And yeah, I really liked a lot of these sequences. The bit where Joker controlled Martian Manhunter into like getting his tendrils into Superman's brain, and then Batman and Lex Luthor are having this big fight sequence in like Superman's brain, or in like around his neurons and stuff. Like that's such a fucking cool high concept idea for a Justice League sequence. That it's in Superman's brain. I love that so much.
I love the switching from like one page we see the tendrils going in the eye to seeing the big ass tendril next to Batman inside of him. That kind of transition I just think is so fucking cool. Yeah.
I totally agree. Like I think this issue felt like it kind of put a cap, like it like made everything kind of make sense a bit more in terms of like what they were going for, and like kind of what we were getting out of this. I think I'm excited to see, like, are they going to keep Jon Stewart as a Ultraviolet Lantern?
I mean,
like, as a thing?
It makes sense.
He seems to be kind of like leaning into it. I think that's cool.
They made it make sense, like accepting your emotions for what they are, but also like acknowledging them and using them as strength, because you can't change who they are. You can't make them invisible forever. Like, I think that's a really cool concept, especially for a lantern to like have power from that, like in that sort of unseen spectrum. I think that's such a cool idea.
Also, I thought it was a really fascinating and unexpected twist to just this whole idea that like Lex Luthor's whole thing has been like everyone should stop suppressing like the secret evil person they are, and like the eventual twist is like, yeah, no, like we should all stop like suppressing like who we are inside, and that's not a bad thing, is kind of the realization they all come to. Like, use it, and like in various characters kind of forms, and I think that's really cool and unexpected, and makes Lex Luthor's plan, his whole kind of philosophy in this series kind of conceptually makes sense from a storytelling perspective. I'm definitely excited. They're definitely going to continue that arc.
Yeah.
What do you think?
One question. In this page I was talking about earlier, with all the, like, with the resolution kind of on it, with them meditating sort of, it says that the fastest man has to be still. Now, with Flash sitting down, like in his meditative position, he says, "I see you." That's his mother in front of him, right? Because he wasn't fast enough to save her. But now that he's...
I think so. And that it's him, like, making peace with that, like, he doesn't have to always be fast enough to save everyone.
Yeah.
I think is the idea.
I love that. I thought that was a character moment, right?
Yeah. I think that's the idea they're getting at there. I think that's pretty impactful. Definitely.
But yeah, I was so happy for this. 'Cause, like, this felt like the write yourself into a corner and you found the best way to get yourself out of it, like, moment. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very happy. Like, do you, like, even if you've been kind of more enjoying this than I have, like, do you think that this is the best issue, or the best put together issue, or am I just kind of crazy for not liking the other ones?
No, I think this was probably my favorite issue of this series that we've read. Like, it just, like, like the threads all came together and kind of made sense in a way that they haven't before. And it felt big and epic and meaningful. Unfortunately, I feel like some of the, like, ramifications of this, I would be surprised if we saw them in the other characters' books, which is always a shame.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're gonna see a Batman who has all his legs and arms broken in, like, the other books, but, like,
it looks like they're giving him robo legs.
I think he's just in a device that's going to heal his legs up, which whatever. But I don't know. Maybe in this book he will have, like, some apparatus that'll help him walk around, and maybe they'll just deal with that in this. But I definitely see what you're seeing. I am surprised that you liked it like as much as you did, because like I did like this. I think this was the strongest, but like I didn't necessarily think it was like this crazy step up from the other issues like you think it was. But like I did really like it.
I don't know. May just hit a nerve.
But I've been enjoying the series.
May just hit a nerve with me. Like I just really was just so into it. Like I think it was. I don't know if it was one of the first ones I read. I was just really super into it. Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think this end means? So do you know what this symbol is at the end? So we get a big
I thought it was just like a justice symbol or something like that, but
okay. This symbol is connected to the emotional spectrum, to the Green Lanterns and all the Lantern Corps. Oh. So this is the symbol of the White Lanterns.
Oh.
And that symbol, so, you know, green is will, yellow is fear.
Hope,
now we
right?
got ultra. That's blue.
Oh.
White, so black is death.
Yeah.
And white is life.
Oh. That's life.
And in the past...
Oh.
Yeah. In the past, the white light has like resurrected dead characters, you know, like brought them back to life. Yeah, so I don't know what that means.
You think someone's gonna come back to life? Who's dead right now?
I don't know that that's a thing that's going to happen. I feel like it's more of a, I don't know. I feel like that they have to follow up on this, but I feel like it's almost more of a symbolic thing of just like Earth, of just like, I don't know, coming to terms with like their lives. I don't know, in some form.
I don't know.
It does remind me of, have I told you about Mogo?
Yes.
The planet Green Lantern.
Yes.
He has a giant Green Lantern symbol on him. It does remind me of that. I wonder if the Earth has come alive.
Wow, that'd be
and become a White Lantern.
That would be interesting. Huh.
Or what if it's always been a White Lantern? What if that's why there's life on Earth? I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious to see if that's a thing that they're actually going to follow up on, or if that's just like a weird metaphor thing.
I feel like they have to, because it says fight planet with planet. I feel like that's it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Fight planet with planet. What the fuck? Is he gonna fight? Is Earth gonna fight Mogo? I don't know.
That would be
anyway.
Interesting. Okay.
They're just bumping into each other.
I don't think that would read on comics very well.
Boy.
Okay. Well, Doug, let's go in. What's your panel of the week? You wrote down a little note here, but I really don't even know what.
Okay. So, this was in Ice Cream Man number 6.
Another great issue of this, by the way.
It was. I still continue to not have any idea what to expect from this series. I really liked this issue. I don't know. It's not really... It's sort of horror.
It's depressing.
But it is weird, existentially depressing storytelling with surreal elements, for sure. The Ice Cream Man somehow makes it happen. So, this issue, it has a very particular kind of hook to the storytelling. And the first time we see that hook, so the main character here, I don't recall what his name is. Do we even get his name? I don't know. Don't think so. So he gets an ice cream cone with 3 scoops, and he gets what I assume is a strawberry, a vanilla, and a chocolate. The title of this issue is Strange Neapolitan. So he gets this ice cream cone, and he starts to eat it, and then we get a page turn reveal of, there's a big wide shot of the street. There's 3 different streets, and each of that, and there's 3 of him. And there's a big color stripe. There's a red one, a yellow one, and a brown one going down the middle, and he's in each of them, going down each of the 3 streets. And so the idea here being that they follow up on in the rest of the issue is that, like, these are 3 choices that he made, and because this series is caused by a weird, sadistic, surreal ice cream man who causes weird nightmare shit to happen, like this ice cream, him eating this ice cream cone caused this to happen. But I just really like this page. One, I just really like it graphically, of the 3 vertical colored stripes, and 3 images of him walking down these 3 different streets, but I think it so succinctly and immediately indicates exactly what the rest of the issue is going to be. And obviously it like goes some places beyond that you aren't expecting, but like I turned this page and I saw that, like, because you're waiting in this series, you're waiting for the weird. What is the weird twist? Like, what is this weird story going to be that they're going to tell us?
Yeah.
You're like, because it always starts off slightly normal, and then something really fucking weird happens, and you turn this page and you immediately see what it is, and you know exactly what the bit is.
Yeah.
You go, oh, it's his life. It could go one of these 3 ways, and we're going to follow all of them. And I think that is just such a really cool economical use of visuals. I really like that aha moment of seeing exactly what this issue is going to be, where you I don't know, I just think it's really succinct and also graphically interesting.
I think also it's like with establishing that, like, I think one of the main things that I think doesn't look as specifically like important, but it totally is, I think, is that the page right before that split is the same exact page, except with the main character in the foreground.
It's the same image of
the background, the houses and the trees.
It's the same background. He's closer and he's walking away from you.
So I think that helps establish, like, this is normal, and now it's split. Like, I think that really helps with that sort of clarity that you're talking about. So I totally agree. I think it's such a cool page turn, because it's like, yeah, considering that previous page, it makes a really good use of a page turn reveal, which is like, that's always a cool, interesting thing when people actually take advantage of that in kind of newer, interesting ways. And I think that's a really cool one, and it was definitely like the standout moment for me in this issue. It's still a great issue. In a book I still don't quite understand, but I like it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can follow this book all the time. I just don't know. I'm still a little confused exactly what the point is, but I like it. I enjoy the storytelling in it.
Yeah. No, I really love this. Good choice, Doug. Good choice.
Yeah.
My panel of the week, and I just gotta say my honorable mention is from Baby Teeth, but I can't pick it because you're not reading it, but you need to read Baby Teeth.
Is it a spoiler?
It is.
Okay.
It's a really great, emotionally resonant and important moment for the story as well. It's just one image, simple image in the page, and it's unexpected, and it's just heartbreaking. It's so fucking great. But no, I picked Magic Order for the reason that, for a bunch of reasons. So I picked the last page of Magic Order, partially because this moment is shocking. Before, when this dude, okay, so they've been building up this guy this entire time, the dad of this family, as like a super powerful guy, like super good at magic and everything, and they kill him before.
Oh yeah.
And you're kind of thinking this whole time, like, okay, maybe this, but on the last pages, oh yes, definitely dead by the evil person, and then in the background they have the big, ridiculously bloody, cut in half guy with shoes all over the place. And a lot of things I really like about this. One is the puddles that they make in the thing. I think that's so cool. Like, I know they're just circles, but I think it's really, because it even has motion still. You feel like it's moving. I don't know. I guess the other part is just kind of gory, but I like the idea. It reminds me of when you were talking about in Detective Comics with spoilers for Detective Comics, James Tinney IV's run with Clayface, and when they said no, he's dead, right?
Yeah, I think it was like quite
dead.
Oh yes, quite dead.
So yeah, it reminded me of that. I like this. I also wanted to ask you what do you think he's actually dead? I feel like he's not dead. But do you think they would
They do seem to be really giving you the hard sell on the he's dead thing here, and in that way, I could definitely see them swerving and bringing him back. I think he's dead, though. I think this series, the arc of this series, is going to be he's got these 3 children who he's disappointed in, and they're going to have to band together in his absence to like become the sorcerers that they were meant to be.
I wonder if he purposely kind of let himself get killed, or he's doing it so that his other son that won't do it, that he says really needs to come do it. You know what I mean? Like, we had a scene earlier, right? Where he was in the car and
yeah, I don't think that he's doing it I don't think he's like faking his death or allowing himself to die to do that. He seems too protective of his son to do that. He wants him to come out so that they can prevent more deaths. You know? Like, I don't think that like he's manipulating his son in any way.
Yeah.
Through this. But I do think it does seem, especially with the very telling cover of the next issue in the next month thing at the end, the son is definitely going to come out of retirement from magic or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got his wand back in the cover of the next issue. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying this issue. This issue gets the award of comic I am most uncomfortable reading in public because of this cover. Good God.
Yes, it's a very unsettling cover.
It's a very, very sexual cover. There's a lot of flesh, a lot of people licking each other, some in each other's mouths, but very open, like,
yeah, I didn't bring this one to work.
A lot of almost boobs.
Almost boobs, yes.
Very close to whole boobs in
Very
many
close.
places on this cover. Anyways, yeah, I'm
there is a nipple. I do see a nipple.
Is that actually?
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
I see one, but is it?
I think that's one nipple. I think we got one nipple. I think he snuck a nipple in there. Oh, it might be a belly button of something.
I'm not sure.
Whatever. It's made to look like a nipple. I know it is. In any case, yes, another great issue for that. Doug, what do we got? Or, I guess, really quickly, are you dropping Tony Stark Iron Man?
Yes, I'm not reading it. Great cover this week. Almost picked it as my cover of the week. I don't know. It's just not blowing me away. You know, like it's fun, but it's not amazing, and I just don't really feel. I don't feel compelled to keep reading it to see what happens. I found the. Remember how they set up that Machine Man was going to be in this issue?
Yeah.
I find the character interpretation they're giving Machine Man in this issue to be very grating. I don't know if that's normally how he's characterized or not, but he's like this like militant robot rights character in a way that like is incredibly angry all the time.
Huh. So a less interesting Magneto for robots.
Sorta, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. He's just like yelling in every panel.
Huh.
And it's, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be, because if he wasn't there, there's plenty of other characters in here that would make me be on the side of the robots.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a theme in this series. And they're making him out to be an enormous jerk in this, and I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of that is. Huh. But
okay, well,
anyways, I'm dropping it.
Okay, well, and spoilers. Next week we got some books. Finally, we have Age of Doom number 4, so we're gonna finally see what the fuck is gonna happen between Madame Dragonfly and Black Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
It's been forever.
It has been a while. They've been on break.
Okay, and then we have what's Cold Spots number 1 really quickly. I want to
let me pull up a description of it. So this is a horror book at Image Comics from Cullen Bunn, artist Mark Torres, who I don't think I'm really familiar with. But Cullen Bunn, I wasn't into his stuff for a really long time, and then I started reading his book at Oni Press. Damned, which is basically like
Yeah.
it's a gangster noir book, but with demons, and
Okay.
it's actually really good.
Huh.
Like it's some really, really cool world building
Yeah.
in that book, and just a really spot on like noir gangster book, just on that level. And so I've been wanting to kind of find another book to read from him. So he's got a new horror book coming out. We've got this book, Cold Spots. It says psychological terror, the undead, and a supernaturally bitter cold come together. I don't know what that means. In this spine-tingling new series from Columba and Mark Torres. Let's see.
Huh.
This guy's got an unborn daughter, and now the mother and the daughter have gone missing, and he has to face cosmic terrors.
Wow.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, not a super like descriptive description,
Yeah.
but I've liked his kind of more horror stuff, and I'm going to check it out. I am trying to get more non-superhero books.
I feel that
in the last little bit here, especially after this last week, in which I had a bunch of like non-superhero stuff that was just really good.
Yeah,
and it kind of just put me in the mood to kind of like get some more of that stuff.
Baby Teeth, Skyward, 5 Ghosts.
Yeah,
all non-superhero.
I definitely want to read all of those things at some point.
Do it. Okay, cool. So then we got Justice League Dark number 2 and Sentry number 3, which I'm also so excited for.
And Venom also comes out.
Oh, nice.
Cool. That's going to do it for this week. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. The absolute biggest thing you can do for us, if you like the show, is give us a review or a star rating on iTunes. If you like the show, let someone know about us. And we release episodes weekly on Sundays. If you subscribe to the podcast, you don't even have to think about it. It just comes right to your phone.
You can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Overcast, Google Play Music, a whole host of others probably. But whichever podcast app you preferred, we got you covered. In the meantime, before the next episode, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, under the handle at Comics Covered. You can also find web archives of all our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com. We're also on Reddit now, so that's fun. All the memes and everything. Doug, you post funny things sometimes.
Sometimes.
And on our YouTube channel, we are also there. You can find us. We have video versions of our shows on Facebook as well, so check it out. And if you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback, we can answer you on a future show if you tell us. You can get us on Facebook, Twitter, or at our email, comicscovered@gmail.com. Thank you again for listening, if you actually do. If not, I am the void in which we yell in.
Oh, wow. I'm Doug. So, here I am yelling into the void. This has been Comics Covered.
Cheerio, matey.